All right, what's good with it, Black Goose family? It's one day after a crazy ass night, I would say, with Wilder beating Ortiz. Um, Obviously, you know what I'm saying, there hasn't been much time since the last fight happened, so there's not that much news that have been reported since then. But some of the news that has came out, I did want to talk about it with y'all, so I'm like, why not? And one of those reports, it had to do with Eddie Hearn, right? And the reason why I'm touching on this is because Eddie Hearn, I've been said he's great when it comes to promoting, when it comes to the factor of controlling the narrative with his fighters, and basically either putting out a narrative where it has a positive light for his fighters, or putting out a narrative where it's a negative light for anyone his fighters rival. So um, once again, in pure Eddie Hearn fashion, he's doing that right now when it comes to Deontay Wilder's win, right? So it's coming from BoxingNews24.com. And you wouldn't really expect Eddie Hearn to necessarily say anything great about Deontay Wilder's performance or anything great about him. He never really has. He's always giving him his props and things like that. But he's kind of always stayed away from really saying anything positive about Wilder. When it comes to Fury, I've heard him say some positive things about Fury. But even when it comes to Fury, he doesn't necessarily go out of his way to praise either one of them. But so he was asked, what did he think about the performance that was put on by Wilder, and this is coming from Eddie Hearn right here. I've seen the KO. Everyone was saying first round Ortiz, second Ortiz, third Ortiz, fourth Ortiz, fifth Ortiz. But I was still waiting for the inevitable, and I was waiting for it to come. All of a sudden, flashing up at my feet, wow, and I saw the knockout. And that's what he does, isn't it? He's Wilder. Very, very limited as a fighter skill-wise, but he has this freakish power that could turn your lights out at any time, and he's very good at it. That's why he's so excited, because he's vulnerable. He can be beaten by anybody, but if he hits you on the chin, you're banging trouble. So it's like, it all depends on how you want to take that, right? You can take it as kind of like he's complimenting Wilder, but at the same time, you can take it as like, he's basically saying Wilder's a one-trick pony, which a lot of people say that, but at the same time, like, if you're a one-trick pony and nobody knows how to solve the trick or figure out what the trick is, why are you going to stop doing it, right? That doesn't make no sense. So he goes on to say, I don't think anybody gave Wilder a round, but that's why the division is so tight. You can have any fight go any way, you won. You got Ruiz Joshua in 2 weeks in Saudi. Either guy is capable of hurting each other, and that's why it's so exciting. Ruiz could win every round, and AJ could knock him out in the 12th. Joshua could school him off the jab and keep him at the distance, and Ruiz could chin him in the 11th round. I mean, that's a fight there, where Wilder had him won a round in the halfway stage and then knocks him clean out with one punch. That's what he got, one punch power. So, once again, you know what I'm saying, it's Eddie Hearn kind of going back to the same narrative, where it's like he's giving him his just due, but at the same time, he's still trying to make it seem like he's still trying to put that narrative out where Wilder's beatable, because he wants Joshua to still be in the scene. Because if Wilder's looked at it as his freak of nature, one punch power, nobody can beat him, even doesn't matter, even if you outbox him, you know it's going to come. You know what I'm saying? That's not saying much for the likelihood or the chances of Joshua. So obviously, as a promoter, what you want to do is you want to try and make the narrative seen as if, yeah, Wilder is a beast, but he still has vulnerabilities. You know what I'm saying? So I thought this was interesting right here. They're talking about Wilder struggling to call out Joshua and Ruiz winner, or at least that's what Eddie Hearn thought. He struggled to say it during the interview. It's coming from Eddie Hearn. He struggled to say, I want the winner of Ruiz and the other guy. So as refreshing as it is for the first time in a long time, what's next for Joshua after Ruiz is totally irrelevant right now. It's about just trying to beat Andy Ruiz. I think Joshua against Wilder is the most thrilling fight in the world, to be honest, because we both know both guys have been hurt before. So to me, it's a lot of backhanded compliments, you know what I'm saying? Where basically he's big up in Wilder, but at the same time, he's doing what he should do as being the promoter of basically the other biggest heavyweight boxing star. And he's saying, like, look, he's beatable. I see that he's beatable. He has, amazing one-punch power, but that's all I see from him. And then also at the same time, he's keeping the hope alive to hopefully see Wilder versus Joshua. Or even, let's say this, even if Wilder versus Joshua doesn't happen, what he's doing a good job of making it seem like if it doesn't happen, it won't be their fault. it won't fall on them. The blame and failure won't fall on them. By him saying basically, Wilder struggled to kind of call him out, and since he struggled to call him out, or he didn't specifically call out the winner of those two, which obviously it was Fury for the most part, which makes more sense because that's what's expected to happen early next year. But by Eddie Hearn saying that, he's basically giving him a way out, himself a way out for if the Wilder Joshua fight doesn't happen, he can kind of go back to this and be like, hey, look, y'all remember I said this shit. So, Eddie Hearn being Eddie Hearn, what do y'all think about this whole situation? Do you think Eddie Hearn is correct with his analysis of Deontay Wilder? Do you think he's hating? Do you think he's just being honest? Or what you think? Let me know.